Hello everyone and welcome to the final SHU Sports Report. I'm Taylor Kermel here with Aaron Burrell. AB, you ready to go around the bases one last time?
I'm ready to go. I'm practically sprinting around them just like our track team who won that Triple Crown.
Yeah, nice job by then.
Nice job. But first, let's get into some baseball.
All right, let's do it. Well, Sacred Heart Baseball returned for their first homestand since April 20th to take on conference foe Mount St. Mary's. The four-game series began on Friday in what was definitely the wildest game of the weekend. Ted Shaw scored on a passed ball to open things up in the bottom of the first. Then in the next inning, Jesus Medina scored on a wild pitch, and Shaw drove in P.J. DeFilippo. The Mount scored 2 in the fourth, and then SHU pitcher James Tauble gave up the lead and a solo home run in the fifth. With things tied up, Cody Doyle hit a sac fly to regain the lead for the Pios. Doyle added an insurance ribby in the eighth, and SHU wins Game 1, 5-3. The grinded-out close game was not a sign of things to come, however. Game 2 had Jesus Medina on the mound, and he pitched a gem. Complete 7-inning game, 2 hits, 4 Ks, and only 1 run. He was probably feeling pretty good behind his offense that scored 5 runs in the bottom of the first. Victor Sorrento drove in Ted Shaw and Zach Short with a triple to start things off. Then shortly after, Sorrento scored on a P.J. DeFilippo single. Jake Fryer singled up the middle to bring in DeFilippo and Medina. Later on, Keith Claybart went yard over his counterpart in left field, and DeFilippo hit a sac fly, ending Game 2 with a big win, 7-1. Hey, Aaron, you know what's better than a 7-1 victory?
What?
How about an 8-1 victory? Game 3 Saturday night was a tight one until the 5th inning. Each team scored a run early in the game, but the bats came alive for SHU in what was a 7-run inning. Dan Schock sent one over the fences with Jesus Medina on to give Sacred Heart the lead. Then Jason Sullivan was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, walking in a run. With 3 men on, Sorrento had a bases-clearing double and advanced to third on the throw. The Pioneers made it all the way through the order when Medina came back up to the plate and singled to bring in Sorrento. It was a 3-hit performance on the mound for Brent Teller, who picked up his 4th win.
On Sunday, SHU welcomed the Mount to the New Britain Stadium for a Mother's Day matchup to wrap up their 4-game series. For the 3rd game running, it was a big inning offensively, combined with John Sostarich's 6 scoreless innings that helped SHU earn the 8-0 win and sweep the Mount. The win on Sunday was the 9th time this season that SHU have shut out their opponents, and the 2nd time this season that Sostarich pitched a shutout of at least 6 innings. With the win, they clinched their 8th consecutive NEC tournament berth. More good news came on Monday when Medina was named NEC Player of the Week for the first time in his career. Congrats to my man Jesus. On Tuesday, where the Pios were at Fondella Field in Hartford for a game with in-state rivals, University of Hartford. With the game tied at 4, SHU took command of the game with 2 runs in the 7th inning. Alex Perry's sacrifice fly and Ted Shaw's successful squeeze brought in Keith Claybart and Dan Schock to pay SHU for the 7-4 win. Baylor Sundahl and James Cooksey combined to throw 3 2/3 scoreless innings against UHart. The Pios will be back in action on Thursday as they head to Wagner for a 1 p.m. doubleheader with the Seahawks. Now let's throw it over to the Coach's Corner, where baseball head coach Nick Giacinto is with our boy, Frank DeZenzo.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you, Coach Giacinto, for joining us. School may have officially ended yesterday, but we know you and your team are still putting in work. Thank you for taking your time away from practice to stop by and talk with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Awesome. Now, let's start right off. You're coming off a sweep of Mount. Now you're in your 8th consecutive NEC tournament. What do you expect from the boys in the last 2 weekends of the regular season?
Pretty much the same thing I've expected them since September 1st, and that's putting in the work, staying focused on the process, on taking ground balls, taking your hacks, getting your work done, about dealing with adversity. So we're on the same path. It's different, but it's the same. Okay. When you get to a playoffs, there is that extra little energy, but you have to just stay locked in on one pitch at a time.
Definitely got to stay focused. Now, speaking of staying focused, your pitching staff, on Sunday you got your 9th shutout of the season. It's great to have as a pitching staff. You're getting a contribution from the entire staff. What do you accredit that to?
Yeah, I'll tell you, we have some pretty good depth. I credit to a few things. First, the pitchers have been working their butt off, and Coach Mazzoni has done a great job with them, as he does every year. So, that combination of getting a bunch of guys in here that are going to work hard, really pay the price, and compete is number one. So having those right guys, and I give them just a ton of credit for what they've done since September 1st, and build and build and build.
Right. Now, Victor Sorrento, one of your main pieces of your team, he's among the league's best in 7 offensive categories entering this weekend. As a senior, what do you accredit his spectacular outbreak of a season to?
Well, I think it's his continual work from his freshman year. He came in and he kind of stumbled around a little bit. He wasn't very comfortable, but when he came back that sophomore year, he became so focused and locked in, and it's just a continual growth. So it's from his hard work and ethic. It's nothing magic. It's nothing that a light switch went on. It was that day-to-day grinding it out from that sophomore year to a senior year that led to this great year.
It's always great to see a player take it to the next level, you got to admit.
Yes.
Sticking with Sorrento and adding James Cooksey, they have won COSITA Academic All-District. That is for both for their academics and athletic success during this year, not only for the boys, but how does this show and elaborate on the program as a whole for the baseball?
Well, the first thing about my recruiting is getting good students. So we have a culture in the baseball program where you're coming here number one to get a degree. And these guys, Cooksey, he was the NEC Academic Player of the Year for a couple years. And Vic has had a tremendous grade point average in sports management. So we've had a lot of guys who have got gold and silver medals with the business school, like Jeff Stoddard, who's a grad student, James Cooksey, who's a grad student. Last year as undergrads, they got. So we have a tremendous group of guys who have the priorities straight. So I think that's very important when I'm doing my recruiting and I'm talking to a student athlete. It's that the culture you're going to be in here with the baseball program is to get that degree and find a job.
It's always great to see players excel both on the baseball field and in academics, you got to admit.
Yes, it is.
It
is.
Well, as always, look forward to Memorial Day weekend baseball, NEC Baseball Tournament. Good luck the rest of the season, and thank you for joining us here today, Coach. We're going to send it back to the desk for the rest of our updates.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank, and thank you, Coach. Now we're going to head into the update corner where Adam Maneratone has more on that track triple crown and the women's lacrosse team.
SHU women's track and field held off LIU Brooklyn to earn their 2nd consecutive NEC outdoor title. The win marked the 2nd straight year the Pioneers completed the Triple Crown with a cross-country, indoor track, and outdoor track championship in the same season. SHU built an early lead with 81 points through 5 events on Saturday, highlighted by a 27-point performance in the 10,000 meters. Shannon Hickey and Megan Hutch crossed back-to-back in 1st and 2nd place, and Alexandria Caseland finished 4th. Marina D'Amelia won the hammer throw and finished 3rd in the shot put and the 4x800 meter relay of Tara Conley. Cynthia Gray, Christina Donnelly, and Jennifer Hahn took home gold. Then on Saturday, Selena Samperi won the pole vault, while SHU scored 20 points in the steeplechase, thanks to Tara Conley, who finished 1st, and Kelly Quinn, who placed 3rd. Shannon Hickey took 3rd in the 5,000 meter. Jennifer Hahn was 2nd in the 1,500 meter, and Nicole Bartosh completed the 200 meter with an ECAC qualifying time of 24.52 seconds to come in 3rd. Men's track and field ended the NEC championships in 6th place with 71.5 total points. Trevor Guerrera took home the win in the 800 meter and finished 2nd in the 1,500 meter with an IC4A qualifying time of 3 minutes and 52 seconds. Christian Turner placed 3rd in the shot put, and the Pioneers 4x400 relay team finished 4th. Both teams will continue their late season runs at the New England Outdoor Track and Field Championships at Southern Connecticut State and at the ECAC/IC4A Championships at Princeton. That's a mouthful. On to women's lax. SHU women's lacrosse suffered a close 13-12 overtime loss to the Bryant Bulldogs in the semifinals of the NEC Women's Lacrosse Championships. After 10 minutes of play, the Pioneers trailed 4-3 when the Bulldogs went on a 5-0 run. SHU would not end the half quietly and went on a 3-goal run of their own to cut the score to 9-6. In the second half, Alyssa Pierce scored 3 goals during a 5-goal Pioneer streak to help SHU take the 11-10 lead. With 12 minutes left, it was a tight finish as Bryant scored the equalizer with 19 seconds remaining, and Paige Hammett came up with a huge stop at the goal to push the game into overtime, which Bryant would go on to win with 2 minutes left. Pierce set a new career high in the goal with 5 goals, as did Leanna Doyle with her 3 assists and 5 points. Congrats to women's Lax, who ended the 2016 season at 500 with a record of 8-8. Back to you guys at the desk with more.
Thanks, Adam. And this just in, sophomore outfielder Lauren Delgadillo has been named to the All-NEC second team.
And speaking of All-NEC, Sacred Heart had a few more winners this season. Women's golf head coach Matt McGreevy was named Coach of the Year, while Ellen Nigbor was named Player of the Year, and freshman Chelsea Sedler earned First Team All-NEC.
The tennis teams cleaned up as well. Katie DiRenzo, Olivia Potsaberski, Claudia Ruiz, and Derek Chapman were all honored by the conference. And not to be outdone, the men's lacrosse team had 4 All-NEC selections as well, with Ryan O'Donohue and Chase Godfrey on the first and second teams respectively, while Greg Price and Max Tootle joined the All-NEC rookie team.
Well, guys, that's all we've got for the final SHU Sports Report of the year. We just want to give a thank you to everyone that's worked on the show and been here this year. All the coaches, Chris, Guido, Steph, the Chack, John, Craig, Frank, Diana, Colleen, Adam, Tim on the jib, Kara, Zach and Katie from athletics, Chris O'Connor, and all of you Pioneer fans watching at home. With Aaron Burrell for one final send-off, I'm Taylor Krimmel, and we'll be back with the SHU Sports Report in September.